What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm currently editing the vlog for the cruise that we just went on, and I'm also editing some pictures. So I instantly thought of filming myself editing some pictures to show you guys the process, because I do get a ton of questions on how I edit my pictures for Instagram. This is very informal. I look like shit right now. I haven't even eaten dinner yet. I've been editing all day, but I thought I'd show you guys since I'm doing it anyways. Before I get started, I want to quickly mention that I'm always shooting my picture quality in RAW. So if you guys are shooting on a DSLR or any camera for that matter, go to your settings, go to the image quality or Google it and see if you can shoot in RAW. That just makes sure that the file is the biggest and that you can manipulate every single detail when you're editing it on Lightroom. And then I use Adobe Lightroom to edit my pictures, and I pay about $20 a month for it. It does come with Photoshop, so it's like the perfect photographer package. But I think that's all the details that I want to share right now, so let's get into it. Alright guys, so the first thing I'm doing is I'm opening Lightroom, and by this time I've already imported all my photos. So I chose this picture because I thought it would be the perfect example of a before and after. So for something like this, when I'm shooting when there's a window in the background, say you're standing in front of a skyline or standing in front somewhere that has like a background that you want to expose with yourself, you want to expose for the background, and I'll probably make a separate video on that because that's just way too much to explain. But as you can see the window here, I tried to make it so that you can kind of see the detailing of the outside. So when you're exposing for the background, the rest of your picture will be dark, but that's okay because if you're shooting in RAW, then you can always edit that later on, which is what we're going to be doing right now. So as you can see on the left side, I do have a bunch of my presets, and they're pretty much the same as filters that I've created. And how you would make your own preset is by, say, adjusting some of these parts and then going up here to develop new preset, and then you can just apply that to all of your pictures later on. But I'm just going to show you guys how it looks from scratch. So going over to this section right here, I'm first going to take the highlights and bring it all the way down, and then you can already see that it's already bringing a lot of detail into the window section. And then I'm going to exposure, and then I'm going to bring that all the way up to kind of brighten things. And then as you can see before, I'm going to show you guys the before and after of the highlights. If I kept it the same, the background would be super overexposed and bright. So I'm going to keep that all the way down so you're able to see whatever is outside the window. Now I'm taking the shadows and I'm lifting the shadows so that it creates a brighter picture. And as you can see, it creates a lot more detailing around this section and his pants area. And then I'm going to take the whites and bring it down just a little bit, and then bring the blacks up to make things a little bit brighter. And then from here, I'm just going to play around with it, bring down the exposure. And then from this part, I typically like my pictures warmer, but since we are on an airplane and the lighting is kind of difficult to play with, I'm going to keep it a little bit more on the cool side. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring the contrast up a little bit and clarity to bring some of that detail back. And then from here, you can adjust the saturation of each color individually, which is what I like, because sometimes I like to desaturate my greens. In this case, there isn't that much green, so I'm going to show you guys blue. So as you guys can see, you can desaturate the blue, you can bring up the saturation, but for this picture, I'm just going to leave it alone. And then for this part right here, it's one of my favorite things to do. You have the detail section. It shows you a little close-up of what the detail of the picture actually looks like. So for sharpening, I'm just going to leave it as is, but for noise reduction, I'm going to bring it to about 50. And as you can see, it took a lot of that noise out the picture, and it's a lot softer as opposed to what we were working with before. You see a lot of grain here. And then you bring it up. The more you bring it up, the more smooth out it's going to be. But I'm just going to keep it around 50. And then if you click here, you will be able to see the before and after, which here is pretty dramatic. You have a really dark photo into a nicely lit exposed photo, and you're able to see whatever's in the background, except there isn't much in the window section. I was just doing that for the sake of showing you guys how to do it if you guys are shooting out of a window. So I want to show you guys another picture that I edited, and this one was taken at Central Park in New York. And I've been getting DMs recently, which is why I want to do this video, about you guys saying you've been taking pictures and the picture is either too cool or too warm or too green or too red. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now that I never ever ever post a raw picture. Every single picture that you see on my feed, on my story, is always edited, because as you can see here, the before picture is lacking color. It's a little bit too cool for my liking. I guarantee you every single magazine publisher or photographer usually don't ever post their pictures in RAW. They're always edited at least a little bit. This is the before picture and this is the after. I know it's very dramatic, but that's just the way my feed is and I like to follow that way. What I did was I first warmed up the picture. So I toggled this all the way to the right for my liking, and then I brought it over to the red side to bring out the reds. And as you can see, before and after already, that immediately changed the tone of the picture. And then I'm going to bring down the highlights just to bring some of the flowers back in the back. And then lift the shadows a little bit. Bring up the black so that my shirt isn't so dark. Bring down the whites. And then I'm going to bring up the contrast and the clarity to bring some of that detail back into the picture. And as you can see, this is before and after already looking good. And then for this section, as I was mentioning earlier, you can toggle with the saturation and the hue, so I can actually change the colors of the reds if I wanted to and make it more orange or make it more pink, but I'm not going to do that. And then another example is orange, and orange is kind of tricky because you have orange tones in your face, so once you change that, you will change your skin tone. As you guys can see here, it's super red here and then super yellow, and then if I desaturate the oranges, then it'll desaturate my face, so I'm going to leave that alone. And then for the sharpening, I'm going to sharpen it a little bit, bring it up to 65, and then bring the noise reduction up so that it's not super grainy. And then you can see here the before and after. So here is another before and after that I did recently on my trip. I'm actually editing the vlog now, so it should be up shortly. But as you can see, the before is very blue, and I'm not saying that it's ugly. It's a really nice photo. I really like the colors. Again, I do like my pictures warmer and the blues to be more teal. So as you can see here, it's more turquoise as opposed to this. It's a true blue. I still do love the before though. Like, this is a pretty good before shot. For someone who has a more cooler feed, then I would probably stick to that. But since my feed is a lot warmer, I like to stick to my warm tones. But this is just another example. One last example I'm going to show you guys is this picture that I took in the Bahamas. The before picture, you can see the building has light pink walls, and then by applying my preset, it kind of warmed it up and made it orange. And the before picture is actually really pretty. It just, I feel like it's lacking that character. So if I added some contrast to it, maybe it'll look nice. But from here, I go to File, Export, and then I usually just put it in the same folder that I imported in. And then I keep my quality to 100 and everything pretty much the same. Resolution is 300, and then I export it. And then from there, I'll just airdrop it to my phone, and then that's how I get the best quality to upload on Instagram. Alright guys, I hope you found that helpful. I know this video was super informal and maybe kind of rushed. If you guys want a more in-depth video of how I take my pictures all the way until how I upload it onto Instagram, then please let me know. I'll do a much better video from start to finish. I just wanted to get this up and show you guys since I'm already editing anyways. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.